Let's talk about Thursday. 4 games in the NBA. Let's preview them. Let's discuss them. Let's look at waiver streaming, the key moves to make that'll definitely pay off 100%, not guaranteed. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I love the way that sparkling water makes my tongue tingle. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Audio? Yeah. Listen. Video? Yeah. Watch it. Double bang. That's one of the things that you guys like to do. I hope. We're here to look ahead to Thursday's action in the NBA, and as always, it's an ever-evolving mosaic of puzzles and chameleons and whatever. There's always stuff happening. Just as I hit record on this, Chet Holmgren is ruled out again, so I thought it was a back-to-back. He was questionable for Monday, played. Ruled out Tuesday with a sore back. And now he's out again Thursday, which is not a back-to-back. That is, they are things that are happening. They are definitely things that are happening. Let's have a look at some of the big things that I think we need to have a look at for Thursday, the biggest storylines of the day that we need to pay attention to that will have impacts for fantasy short-term and long-term. And I think with only the 4 games on, we do want to get another data point with the Hornets and their centers. It has been, in all their games except one, the big cock, Ryan Kalkbrenner. Now, he started every game, but in one of them, his minutes were limited and Moussa Diabate played more. If we're getting 80% Kalkbrenner, then obviously he's a must-roster guy. Don't think we argue about that. He's low upside, and we are on cock watch, waiting to see whether he takes any shot that's any free throws or any threes or anything that's not at the rim. That's all he's doing. Rim legend. Rim legend. If you need a job done at the rim, Ryan might be your guy. What about Kuminga? Because Steve Kerr came out and said he's going to be a starter for the foreseeable future. That's me just paraphrasing there. And he was terrible. Stat-wise. Couldn't shoot, didn't do anything. But he's been really good prior to that. The worry is always going to be with him. What is the usage in that starting group? And does he fix the assists and the shooting? Because if he doesn't, he's useless. So we want to see that. I think he should be rostered, but we want to see where it goes. And then one of the things I want to watch in Oklahoma City. Chet is out, so we're going to get a big bump from Aaron Wiggins. I thought we'd get more of a bump from Pig Williams, but we didn't get any change in his role. I want to see the Hong Kong mattress case in Wallace versus AJ Mitchell, because Mitchell is outplaying him very clearly. Wallace gets more minutes, but Mitchell is outplaying him. So let's just continue to watch exactly how that looks. Let's go in, and we're also going to talk later on in the show today about some streaming options, and I do want to just flag this as I just move my screen off to the wrong area. As a guy that we want to talk about later on, who's going to be a bit of a focus of this show, we do want to talk about Mr. Black, because this is the second half of a back-to-back for the Magic, and Anthony Black is probably going to get a bump without Jalen Suggs. So we talk about him as a solid streamer for this day's action. Let's get in here and discuss the schedule, how it actually looks, which games are on for Thursday. There's only 4 of them on. It is a lighter day, not as bad as last Thursday when there were only 2 games on. But we've got just the 4 games on. The first one is a classic Southeast division battle, Magic and Hornets. Then we go Warriors-Bucks, which will be very intriguing. We're all hoping for a little bit more from Miles Turner. Wizards and Thunder. We'll see, can Alexa continue the streak of 50% shooting? Wallace and Mitchell we watch. Bilal Coulibaly is returning to action. So what does that do to Keyshawn George? We're going to be watching that, obviously. And then the Heat and the Spurs. We saw last game with no Norman Powell. Pala Larson went crazy. Is that a real thing? Is Huckers going to continue the elite shooting numbers? Is Ware going to suck? What are we going to do? How are we going to view that? And we'll pay attention to that. Let's look at the individual games now. Just the things that we need to be watching here. Magic Hornets, like I said, don't worry about Jamal Cain and Colin Castleton. They're not rotation guys. pretty high over-under for a Magic game. 240 is an insane number because the Hornets play crazy pace. Miller is going to be out, so we're going to get a lot of Sexton. We're going to get a lot of the big Areola Concanipple, I'm guessing, in this one too. And this will be a game, almost certainly, that Jalen Suggs does not play. Suggs is playing on Wednesday, so we are going to get more black. Tyus Jones might start, but he has been dreadful in basically every game. If you're looking for desperation stuff, maybe you look to Jones, but it does appear that Black is the guy. Now, on my waiver wire show earlier today, I said, people are adding Anthony Black, and I got confused because I forgot. I forgot the Magic had a back-to-back. So that's why. That's why people were adding Mr. Black. Because it was a back-to-back. So that is my bad, and I apologize for that. The next game that we're going to take a look at, we're going to the Warriors game against the Bucks. Kevin Porter is going to be out. Moses Moody popped up as questionable, and Yanni popped up as probable. D'Anthony Melton's also got at least 3 more weeks to return. Even when he does return, there's so many guards in that position. There are so many concerns with back-to-backs and just sitting games and ramp-up minutes that he's not probably going to be useful for us. But Giannis is probable, Porter is out, and Moody is questionable in that Warriors-Bucks game. The third game of the day is the game involving the Wizards and the Thunder. The Bronco is out. I had Chet Holmgren as probable because I thought he'd return. He's out. Again, that's a little surprising to me to see that he is out of this one, but he is. Malachi Branham is going to be available for the Wizards. It doesn't matter. He's not going to play. And then we haven't seen Isaiah Joe yet. He is currently still questionable. And Marvin Bagley, who was really good last game, he is questionable too. And if he is out, it's going to be Tristan Vukcevic, who moves into that backup role behind Sarr. It is always tough for players to do well against the Thunder, so just watch to see what the impact is on Keyshawn George or Trey Johnson or even Alex Sarr in this matchup. And the final game of the day for Thursday, we have got the Heat and the Spurs, and it's a laundry list of injuries. People say laundry list, right? What the hell is a laundry list? Whoever writes a list and go, right, I got to wash this shirt, these undies, bra, got to wash 2 of those. Let's check them off. Is this some old thing where people had the old washboard out there? What is a laundry list? I honestly, maybe I'm missing something. Shopping list? Sure. Pantry list? I get it. What the hell is a laundry list? Anyway, laundry list of outs. De'Aaron Fox, out. Kasparas Yakuchonis, out. Luke Cornett, out. Kelly Olynyk, out. Jeremy Sohan, out. Hall Pass legend Lindy Waters III, out. Norman Powell is doubtful, which opens it up for Pale Larson and Jaime Jaquez and Andrew Wiggins. And then Nikola Jovic, Little Chungus, is questionable, which might mean you get a bit of Kashad Johnson in there, but it also just means more for Jaquez and more for Larson and more for those other, even more for Ware in that scenario as well. So the Jovic one is a pretty key injury scenario that we do need to pay a level of attention to because it can impact so many different things. I'm going to come back and impact you with schedule and streaming plays in a sec. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ. It's the most advanced equipment yet designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. I got a Peloton, but not the Tread Plus. I want it, but I can't run because I've got to repair this ACL surgery coming at some point for your boy. But that doesn't matter because Peloton IQ can get so many things. The system enables you to track your reps, suggest the right weights, correct your form, and make every rep safer and smarter. And the swivel screen enables you to go from the tread to the floor to do the weights and do it seamlessly. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Okay, we're here. We're talking Thursday with the 4 games on in the NBA. Let's get in now and have a bit of a look at how we can play the schedule out. And we know the rest of the week is all streamable. It's very light on games. I believe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this Thursday is the first day, is it Thursday? No, Friday. Friday is the first day of NBA Cup games. Pretty sure. That's why we're a bit light at the end of this week. So that's where we're at with that. Let's take a look at how the schedule plays. Like I said, there is only the one back-to-back, and it's Orlando, Wednesday into Thursday. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so there's no NBA Cup games, never have a back-to-back leading into them. So we don't have a Thursday, Friday back-to-back. So the Magic are the only team. We already talked about the Jalen Suggs absence in that scenario. If you're looking to double up, you can't really do any 2-for-1s. Chunks, you can. Over the next 5 days, Thursday through to Monday, every day is a streamable day. And all of these players that I've listed here have 3 games over the next 5 nights. Ryan Rollins. All of these guys, maybe you can make the exception of Middleton in a 130-player deep league, or even Minot in a 130-player deep league. They just should all be rostered, but they're not. Ryan Rollins, Aaron Nesmith, Joshy Minot, Nemesh Cater, and Chris Middleton, who has not been very good. Obviously, last couple of games has not been good. And there is no back-to-back here for Middleton. So that would rule him out of this discussion if there was. But again, getting the 3 games, getting 75 minutes for one ad, and for Rollins you might get 90 minutes, and Nesmith you might get 94 minutes, and Minot you might get 60 or 90, I don't know. But getting 3 games, 75 of Cater, 3 games over a 5-day period for one ad is an advantageous move. And that's why we do look at the chunks here. There is also, over the next 7 days, no 5-game teams and no 2-game teams. So we don't need to do the 5s and 2s. Now we can just go and look at streaming options. And we'll start with the streams of the day for Thursday. Just an update. You've probably already seen this, but Josh Minot is starting again for the Celtics. So interesting stuff there. Your streams of the day, we highlighted Mr. Black already on this. Anthony Black, I think, is a really good 10-team stream option. Alex Caruso is a really solid option for 12s, but given the absence now of Chesterfield Holmgren, you're going to put Aaron Wiggins right up near this list as well, and a bump for Pig Williams and for AJ Mitchell also. We only have the 8 teams playing, obviously. Goga Badadze in 14-teamers is a solid enough stream. We get 9 and 6 and 2 blocks as an upside possibility. And if you get into a scenario where Wendell ever gets in foul trouble, you're talking baseline there for Goga. But if Wendell gets into foul trouble and he has to play 24 minutes, because like Mo Wagner's out and Jonathan Isaac is like washed, I guess. He looks terrible. He's just not playing. So Goga's got solid floor on a low volume day with upside for more if something happens. And then for deeper leagues, you go to Pele Larson. There is likely no Norman Powell, who is doubtful, and maybe no Jovic. So Larson was great last game. I don't expect him to do that necessarily, but obviously we have seen it. So there is a possibility that it could happen. And when you've seen it, you always know, okay, that's interesting. He showed flashes last season. He showed flashes again now. For your Yahoo points and your ESPN points, this guy is available, and you can see it if you're watching here on the video. He's available in so many leagues, and that's Wendell Carter Jr. I get the concerns. I get that he let you down last season. But he's a 30-minute-a-night starter currently. I've got him projected for 31 fantasy points, Yahoo scoring. He's averaging over 28 fantasy points at the moment while shooting horrific percentages. And while percentages don't count in Yahoo, they do sort of. Because if your percentages go up, it just means you hit more shots, which means you scored more points, which means you scored more fantasy points. So I've got him at like 31 fantasy points projected. Yeah, foul trouble can always reduce that down. And maybe he has another bad shooting night. But Wendell is just available everywhere. And he really shouldn't be. So like he does have that upside for shooting. And on ESPN, that counts even more because you get the negative penalties for missed shots. So yeah, I really like Wendell Carter Jr. as an ad at the moment. I'm not incredibly confident that it's going to last long term, but I don't think I really need to be. Let's dig into some 10-team stream guys. We start with Anthony Black. There's Alex Caruso. Got former Orlando Magic legend Cole Anthony. In Milwaukee, Ryan Rollins is going to be the major sort of name there. But Anthony off the bench is getting us a ton of assists at the moment, and the opportunities are pretty large for him at this point to at least have those big pop games too. Moussa Diabate is a good 10-team streamer, and Aaron Wiggins, I would elevate Wiggins ahead of Caruso now that we know that Chet is out. Of course, I prepared this before I knew that Chet was out, so Wiggins will elevate higher than that at this stage. Let's go to 12-teamers again. Just look at that first list, and you can get names off of that. But Lou Dort is a 12-team streamer. We hate using Lou Dort, but the minutes are there, the role is there, players are out. At some point, he'll have a good game. He'll probably put together a stretch of 4 games that are good at some point, and we'll all get excited. We won't, but some will. Palo Larson's a really good 12-team stream. Julian Champagny is probably a lower upside stream, but that's the Spurs one, not the Wizards one. Justin, who's not in the rotation. Julian is starting for the Spurs. The horse, Keldon Johnson, can't miss shots at the moment, but while we don't expect that to continue, the role for him is solid without Sohan and without Cornette. And then Goga Badadze is also in that grouping of guys that we can take a look at. I'm going to come back with some deep league streamers and points league guys in a sec. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Rippling. If you are a business owner, the truth is that SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams, and they simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's sad. It's software as a disservice, and that is why you need Rippling. Rippling is the united platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance, all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders, that's you, clarity, speed, and control. Rippling removes those bottlenecks and the busy work that slows down teams. It's simple to use and give companies one source of truth for their people, for their data, and everything that they touch. And right now, you can get 6 months for free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnba. Learn more at rippling.com/lockedonnba. That is rippling.com/lockedonnba for 6 months free. Today's episode is also brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, but not just on game day, every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR and then beating it again, and channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades as well from desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that is robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. Let's dig in now to the final couple of stream options. A bit of a shorter show today because there's not as many games on, obviously. Let's go to the deep league streamers. These guys are available in tons of leagues, and we get to do it. We get to do it, guys. It's the pencil. Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. Tre Mann has shot horrifically for Charlotte this season. He is not a 20% shooter because nobody is, or else you're out of the league. He will bounce back. And we're talking about opportunities, 20 plus minutes. Drew Smith gets his 18, can get you 3 steals at any point. Sion James for the Hornets is getting 23 minutes a night. He might have 8 points, 2 threes, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Again, really useful for Sion. I believe someone said that I called him the wrong name the other day. I called him Sion. That's not his name. It's Sion. Sion James. And that's my bad. I knew that. Bad. Naughty sleeve. And then, I don't know what the Golden State Warriors are going to do, but last game they started the postman, Quentin Post. Will they do it again? Will they go back to Brandon Podziemski? They're up against Miles Turner and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Will they go with the extra size that gets Post out there? I actually tend to think that they will. Because if Draymond's the starting center, what is Kuminga guarding Giannis? Is Kuminga guarding Turner? Or maybe he is. But yeah, just watch that for Quentin Post, because if he starts, his name actually rockets up that board a little bit more, and the minutes should be closer to 20 versus down at like 12 or so, because they are obviously keeping Al Horford to 22 minutes a night for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at Points League streaming. We'll go to Yahoo first, eventually, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Wendell Carter Jr., Ryan Rollins, Mr. Black, Colin Sexton, who's still available in a lot of spots, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. Lastly, it's ESPN and ESPN points leagues that we can take a look at streaming in. Wendell Carter, Ryan Rollins, Anthony Black, Davion Mitchell, and then Ryan Kalkbrenner pops his head up for the final spot on the ESPN stream list. And that's your daily look ahead for Thursday, with just the 4 games on. We'll be back with a full recap of all of Wednesday's action later on today. Subscribe, double bang, comment, hype. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.